Hello, ladies and jelly spoons. Welcome to the Game Dojo. Just got finished watching that Nintendo Direct partner showcase, third party games. And I figured, everybody probably has their take on it and about how they feel. I've already seen some negativity about people wishing that, certain things happened and certain things didn't speak of, but I want to give you my take on it. I'm going to discuss the games that were brought to light because a lot of people don't like the direction that Nintendo's going in, but the I'm the obsession. How can I put this to be totally correct? I'm gonna be that one person that disproves the rule. Now, a lot of people didn't like what was talked about because there were so many Japanimation like games being put out there. But on the same token, these are the same people that are pissed off that, what I'm saying, Nintendo don't have any games on there. Now, let's just think about third party. Just recently, you got the Final Fantasy on there. You got the Street Fighter. You got the Cyberpunk. You got the WWE 2K. There's so many third-party big games that has been put onto the Switch as of lately. A lot of people aren't really understanding Nintendo's numbers that they're putting up. They just did their quarterly investment report thing and came out, and the original Nintendo outsold the greatest Nintendo system sold so far. So the Nintendo Switch is still running that race right now and still making money on top of the Nintendo Switch 2 being out there and running as well. Now Nintendo, believe it or not, that was a bad pantomime. I ain't gonna do that again. Now Nintendo Switch 2, no slouch. 17 I think it's 17.4 million systems sold in the first 7 months. 17 million in the first 7 months. So all the people with naysaying and all the people talking shit about Switch, somebody's buying it. And when it comes to key cards, everybody's pissed off about key cards, but Final Fantasy is a key card sold out. Best Buy, Target, Walmart, sold out. So clearly, somebody's buying the key cards. Somebody's buying the Switch. So all the naysayers and the people that have so much bad shit to say about Nintendo, the proof is really in the pudding. And right now, Nintendo's the poo. So take a big whiff. Look, the underdog, hate it or love it, is on top. It's going to shine until it has to stop. And right now, it shows no signs of stopping. So let's get to this Nintendo Switch Direct. Because what people saw in it and what I saw in it was two different things. Number one, for them to bring Japanimation-like games, like Orbitals. Orbital it looks like a Japanimation from the 80s, like an actual anime from the 80s that they turned into a game. Bravo. You see that on like PlayStation, you see that on Xbox, but you don't see Nintendo flossing that. Nintendo is flossing that. Now don't count them out. Nintendo really hasn't shown any first-party games as of yet. I mean, you got Donkey Kong Country, Mario Kart World. But they really haven't shown nothing too huge. Well, Pokemon, but they haven't shown nothing too huge yet. And for you to think that Nintendo doesn't want to make money and doesn't have it up their sleeves, you're sorely mistaken. Now, I know what you're saying. Oh, you a Nintendo fanboy. You just love Nintendo and you just up Nintendo's ass. Yeah, I could be. And I am. But on the same token, I can call a spade a spade. For instance, I'm pissed off that Mario Kart Double Dash ain't on the GameCube app already, but I understand why. See, from the business standpoint, you don't want another Mario Kart game competing with a Mario Kart game and your sales. And if they did put Mario Kart Double Dash out, Yes, it would be amazing. Yes, people would jump on it, but it would detract from Mario Kart World sales. So I understand it. I don't like it, but I understand it. But I can call a spade, and I'm pissed off that there aren't more GameCube games, that there is no love showed to Sega Genesis, that we just got 2 Game Boy games. Like, you have a back catalog of a ton of games. Right now, you got like 7 or 8 systems on the NSO. You could be hitting off every single last one of those every other month or every month and still be flooding your system with sales because people can't get it nowhere else. But like I said, that's besides the point. That's my gripe. But on the same token, I can be angry at them, and I am, over certain things. Pricing issues. I still can't get them damn Nintendo Switch Online controllers. Not Nintendo, not Super Nintendo, not the GameCube. Every time they come into the store, they sell out instantly, and then I see them on eBay, and I see them on like Mercari and other websites for sale. But you're supposed to be exclusive to NSO members so that they can get them, but NSO members can't get them. Make it make sense. Like I said, I love Nintendo, but we've got issues. We've got gripes. But we're going to talk about that direct right now. So, first up, I just want to say, they announced games for not only the Nintendo Switch 2, but the Nintendo Switch 1. Now, normally when new systems come out, they don't give a shit about the previous system. Cut is gone. PlayStation did it. Like, once PlayStation 5 came out and ran strong, they really just cut a lot of love to the PlayStation 4. And the PlayStation 4, graphic-wise, is still great. I still got a PlayStation 4 back there that I bust every once in a while. PlayStation 4, there's nothing wrong with it. But PlayStation 5 is the new expensive toy, and they're moving on. Now, when they announce PlayStation 6, since we know they've been talking about it and dropping hints, do you really think it's going to be anything for the PS4? No. But I'm glad Nintendo is still putting stuff on the Switch 1. Because there's a lot of Switch 1 users who can't afford to move over to Switch 2. So NS1 and NS2 are living coincidentally together down this path. And I think that's a beautiful thing. Because it's the best of both worlds. Whether you're on NS2 or NS1, you are part of the Nintendo Switch family of systems, which also includes the Lite, the OLED. So you have 4 models of the Switch right now that are on the market currently, and games are being made for all of them. And that is how you do business. Nintendo is making money hand over fist because they have a chemical equation that's working for them. As much as people bitch, as much as people hate, as much as people talk down, success is written by the numbers on the board, and the numbers on the board are proving that Nintendo is doing something right. It is what it is. I'm sorry. So let's get into the first batch of games. Now, these are going to be in no particular order, but I just want to let you know I have my own. First of all, Indiana Jones and the Great Circle. You see me play it here on the channel. That was one of the games announced on the Direct. And let me tell you something. This is something a lot of people don't know. If you go onto the websites and you look up the research on Indiana Jones and the Great Circle, it's not a key card. It's not a key card. It's a physical game. You can buy it digitally, but it's a physical game. It's an actual cartridge game. So the question of whether or not only 64 gig cartridges exist, I think has been answered. Because anybody who's played Indiana Jones and the Great Circle, and don't get me wrong, they probably could squeeze it on a 64 gigabyte card with the expansion to be downloaded, but it's highly unlikely. That game is 130 to 140 gigs, depending on which version you have. To shrink that down to a 64 gigabyte cartridge, you're dreaming. You're absolutely dreaming. Without sacrificing quality, fidelity, DLS technology, I don't give a damn what you're using. To shrink that down to 64 gigs is impossible. And it says it's on the cartridge. So either one or two things is true right now. either the 64 gigabyte cartridge is not the only size available for games, or they've pulled out their team from Resident Evil 2 on Nintendo 64 when the PlayStation had 2 discs and they fit all of that on one Nintendo 64 gigabyte card. Either they have the same amazing team of wizards working on this project, or there is a larger size, which is good because for the people who are key card fanatics, and I don't know how you can be, because like I said, Final Fantasy Intergrade Remake sold out. Walmart, Best Buy, Target, like mom and pop stores. It's sold out. Sold out. So how can a key card sell completely out all across the United States if the key card is not liked, not valid, and nobody wants it? Obviously somebody wants it for every store to be out of it. You don't sell out of things that don't sell. So I think the key card situation is going to change because there are two confirmations. If you go to RGT 85, he spoke about there possibly being other cartridges sizes, and I think he's on to something, because Indiana Jones, this is true, no cap, Indiana Jones and the Great Circle is on a cartridge. So either that cartridge is 64 gigs and they pulled some amazing Doctor Strange magic to get it on that cart, or that cart is 128 gigs, which is more likely. But anyway, Indiana Jones and the Great Circle is coming to the Nintendo Switch. And I've played that game. You've seen it here on the channel. The game is amazing. It's phenomenal. Now picture that in a handheld capacity. You being able to sit at the doctor's office. You being able to go over to your friend's house. You being go to the lunchroom on your break. Take it with you into the car if you're going out to your car to sit. Or if you have any time on your hands or just to chill in the living room. Picture you can bust Indiana Jones and the Great Circle handheld. That is amazing. Second of all, Bethesda made an announcement that they're bringing a lot of Bethesda games over. They named a few, only a few, but they announced that they're bringing a bunch of games over to the Nintendo Switch. Now, for those of you who didn't know, Bethesda was acquired by Microsoft and Xbox as a studio. So for those of you who wanted Xbox to show up in this presentation, they did. A lot of people was like, oh, well, Xbox ain't here. I ain't see no Call of Duties. I ain't see no Mario Kart Double Dash. I ain't see Super Mario Odyssey 2, Luigi's Mansion 4. I didn't see, there's a lot of games we didn't see. And I feel you. But on the same token, Xbox did show up. Now, Bethesda having a lot of trouble and glitches with some software and games lately, I'm interested to see how it plays out on the Nintendo Switch too. Now, Star Wars Outlaws was a game that was universally hated by so many people, yet on the Nintendo Switch, it kicked ass. A lot of people didn't think WWE 2K25 would be anything on the Nintendo Switch 2. It kicked ass. Street Fighter 6 kicked ass. Cyberpunk, another game that people thought would be unbelievably slow, literally matches the PS5. Now you're talking about a system that's smaller, more compact, and it doesn't have the same abilities as a PS5, yet it's stomping with the big dogs. So that's saying a lot for Nintendo Switch 2, NS2. Now, Bethesda announced Fallout 4 Anniversary Edition. Now, I'm kind of happy about that because I have the only Fallout game I was able to get on Nintendo Switch was Fallout Shelter, which is nothing. I mean, it's a Fallout game, but it's not like a Fallout game. And it made me angry. But now to know that you can get an actual Fallout game on the Switch, that opens the door to a lot of other games, believe it or not. Because now you can get the Fallout 3, you can get New Vegas. There's a lot of things that you can do now shown on the Nintendo Switch 2. And I'm glad that third-party developers are starting to see the promise in the Switch. That it's not like a Switch 1 situation. These can play our games. These can play our games well. Okay. Who knew? Exactly. And that's what I love about it. So you got Indiana Jones and the Great Circle. You got Fallout 4 Anniversary Edition. And they named a few more that I was excited about. I'm going to go through all of them. Matter of fact, right now, I'm going to give y'all the list. I'm going to give y'all the whole list so y'all can hear it. All right. So they started off with Indiana Jones. Well, I'm just going to say Indiana Jones and the Great Circle. Fallout 4. I'm reading it so you don't know it's no cap. Elder Scrolls 4 Oblivion Remastered. Elder Scrolls 4. Absolutely banger. Tokyo Scramble. Resident Evil 9 Requiem. And then they have Resident Evil The Village and Resident Evil 7 The Biohazard. And that to me is great because before on a Nintendo Switch 1, you were only able to play these Resident Evils via cloud. Now that you can play them native, and they have gold editions and updated editions with updated graphics, I'm gonna say Resident Evil Requiem looks amazing on the Nintendo Switch 2. Now, I noticed when they showed the trailer, every time they was gonna show something violent, they cut away. And that may be because, you know, they have to. Hopefully it is not a dispatch situation where the game is censored in any way. That would be the dumbest thing I could ever think of. That would blow your sales. Dispatch, the dispatch problem went so far down, and so many people still got it, but like I played it censored. I have it for Steam, but I played it censored because I have a YouTube channel and I wanted to show people the game. So you can censor the toggle in there. On Switch, that was taken out of your hand. It's just censored. I don't think they would censor Resident Evil because, like I said, Cyberpunk is also on the Nintendo Switch, and there's full nudity. When you literally create your character, you can create it down to the genitalia, and they show hoo-has and honkers and ding-dongs and wheeze-wangles and snozbanglers. They show it all. Sorry I had to go Dr. Seuss there, but I don't know if YouTube gonna try to kill me on some of the terms that I'm using. But yeah, so Resident Evil is coming over to the Switch in droves. We also have, Pragmata. Now, I downloaded Pragmata. There's a demo of the two. There's Pragmata and Monster Hunter 3 Stories have active demos that you can play now. I will actually be doing videos about those today. It'll probably be up tomorrow, but I'll be doing those today to let you know what I thought and how I thought and my thoughts on them. Now, Pragmata, to me, it stuck out really good. I like I like the story of what they were showing. It's something unlike, it's like kind of Titanfall-ish, but it's something unlike I haven't really seen. So I'm intrigued. That was Pragmata. And then you have Monster Hunter Stories 3. You also have Orbitals. Like I said, that's that banging Japanimation looking game, which was awesome. You have Final Fantasy VII Rebirth they announced. Now this is the game changer right here. This is the game changer. Because Final Fantasy VII Rebirth, Final Fantasy VII Intrograde is a more compact within buildings and storylines, and you can only go so far here and there. But Final Fantasy VII Rebirth is an expanded, wide open game. Graphics, visuals, and rendering. It's a lot. It's a graphically demanding game. Actually graphically demanding. When I played it, I was probably, I haven't made it to the flying chocobo part where you can fly up in the sky. I haven't made it that far yet, but I'm currently playing like several different Final Fantasy VII games right now. I love it. It's good. It's great. Check it out on my channel. You can go through the playthrough with me. I'm not a huge Final Fantasy guy, so I'm learning as I go. But Final Fantasy VII, the Rebirth, I'm going to say, it's surprising to me at how big of a game it is. Now, honestly, that game is more than 140 gigs with no problem. 140 gigs with no problems. They also talked about expansions. They also talked about DLC and other parts of the game being in there. So to achieve this, I don't believe that is going to be on any cartridge. Even if they have a 128 gig cartridge, you still got 20 to 30 gigs that you're leaving off. So I'm going to go ahead and say that is going to be a game key card, like Final Fantasy VII Intergrade. That definitely has to be a game key card. It's too big, and that's the problem. Some of these games are so large, and your hard drives will be bleeding. Remember, Nintendo Switch 2 is only 256 gigs. Only 256 gigs. So yeah, you're gonna have to get an SD card, and even with an SD card, you have games that are like I said, Indiana Jones and The Great Circle. That's 120, 130 gig game. That's a 100 gig game. You got Final Fantasy 100 gig game. I know damn well Resident Evil is a 100 gig game. You have Resident Evil 7, a 100 gig game. You have Resident Evil 8 as a 100 gig game. Like, so let's just face it, with 5 games right there, you're 3 games over your 256 limit. So if you have just a native Switch with the native hard drive, this is the reason why I kept my Switch 1. Some games I still only play on Switch 1 because they can't fit on the Switch 2. Now my Switch 2, I pick and choose what games are on there based on what I want to play. But I'm gonna have to break down sooner or later and get me an SD card. I don't want to, but I had to do it even on the Switch 1. I got a 512 in the Switch 1. And I would have a SD card in the Switch 2 if it wasn't an express special card. Everything is custom. But I'm not complaining. I am, but I'm not complaining. So anyway, Final Fantasy Rebirth. You also have Kyoto Xanadu, another Japanimation game I really don't know nothing about. They have Grand Blue Fantasy Relink Endless Ragnarok. Now, when it comes to some Japanese games, I'm just going to say shorten the title or just, give us letters, because that is a lot to say. I'm going to say it again. I keep wanting to say cranberry, but it's not. It's Grand Blue Fantasy Relink Ignite. Grand Blue Fantasy Relink Endless Ragnarok. That is a lot, but that's Japanese games. They have the expanded titles. You also have Paranormal Sight. Let me make sure I said it right. Paranormal Sight. Yeah, that's correct. Paranormal Sight, The Mermaid's Curse. Like I said, we got a bunch of different Japanimation games that came out, and I'm not hating on it. Like, a lot of people didn't like the direct. I'm gonna say it was surprising to see some of the games that are on there, and then some of the games I'm never gonna play, but that's every Nintendo Direct ever invented. Look, there's cozy gamers, there's action gamers, there's fighting gamers, there's MMORPG gamers. There's a bunch of different types of gamers, and they cater to their crowd. So there's something for everybody. You also have Digimon Story Time Stranger. It looked good. I'm sorry guys, I'm not a Pokemon guy. I've played Pokemon on the channel. You've seen it. I have a few Pokemon games, but I'm not really big on Pokemon and Digimon. But the game looked live. The trailer looked hot. That's all I'm saying. The trailer did look hot, but I'm not a Pokemon, Digimon kind of guy. I like the song. I got a few seasons of the original Pokemon, but I tried playing Pokemon Go, but when I was walking across people's lawns and they got shotguns at me and people in their drawers walking in the middle of the lake drowning to try to catch a Pikachu, it's not my style. It's just not my style. But I salute gamers who do it, because I do have a ton of Pokemon games. What are you gonna say? But on the same token, there's a different type of gamer for every type of game. So you got Super Bomberman Collection, which I hear goes live today. So it is another one of those collections where they stick a bunch of games together and it comes out on a collection. That compilation is available today for Switch 1 and Switch 2. I'm happy about that. I'm actually happy about that. What else we have? Hollow Knight Nintendo Switch 2 edition. If you already have Hollow Knight, you're getting the edition for free. I played Hollow Knight Silk Song on the channel. I got so far and then I kind of stopped because it gets frustratingly hard after a time. And look, I'm not trying to repeat my Elden Ring days, but they had pretty good stuff there. They have the new, now this is what I want to talk about because this is weird. They have New Arcade Archives 2 games, and then they have something called Console Archive Games. Now correct me if I'm wrong. That's Nintendo Switch Online, right? That's Nintendo Switch Online, right? Console Archive Games. old consoles that are archived games. Now you're playing. One of the games they showed us, I don't know if too many people are gamers like me, gaming fanatics, but if you paid attention, oops, sorry, hit the camera. If you paid attention, one of those games was a PlayStation game, which is very intriguing because now you're saying you can bring other systems to the Nintendo Switch, not just Nintendo systems. So you have NSO, but the game they showed was a PlayStation game on the console archives. So I'm like, really? Shouldn't you guys be concentrating on NSO than bringing other consoles to your Switch? But to each its own. That's very interesting, though. That's very interesting that you could breathe, and they named it Console Archives, not Nintendo Archives, Console Archives. And I'm like, okay, I see where you're going with this. I see where you're going with this. You look familiar to me. Were you in Stump? Y'all remember that? It's a scary movie. Take my hand. The little hand. Never mind.
Take my strong hand.
All right. So they also have on the console archives, you got Ninja Gaiden 2, The Dark Sword of Chaos, and the console archives you have Cool Booters. Like I said, something's going down there. Something's going down there. You also have the eFootball Kickoff, which I'm never gonna play. Sorry, I'm just not like that. And for all my Disney fans, I know you guys have seen I've played it here on the channel. There is a Disney Dreamlight Valley Nintendo Switch 2 edition coming to Nintendo Switch 2. And I've got news for you. If you already own it, like I am, and I do, I'm a founding member, the upgrade to the Nintendo Switch 2 edition is free. Oh yeah, how does that grab you? They put the skitters in your island wickers, you plonker. I know. So I know my Disney Dreamlight Valley people, y'all looking forward to that. Now it doesn't say whether or not the DLCs will be applied in it, but I assume if you already have the DLCs, it should apply, but I don't know, so don't quote me on that. You also have the PGA Tour 2025, another game. It looked awesome, but I'm not gonna play PGA Tour. I got Mario Golf for that, you know. WWE 2K26 looked bananas, absolutely bananas. You got Shadow Tactics, Blades of the Shogun. You got another Eden Begins. You got the Goat Simulator 3. I don't know why we have Goat Simulator. You also have Budapest Begins. You got Scott Pilgrim EX, Star Trek Voyager Across the Unknown. We don't speak of Star Trek right now because that Starfleet show, we're not gonna get into it. There was a banging Star Trek game back in the day that you can get on Steam, Xbox, and PlayStation. Why can't we just bring that next-gen Star Trek game over to the Switch? But that's beyond me. Alright, you also have Tales of Arise and you have Reanimal. And those are the games that they announced today at the Nintendo Switch 2 Direct. Now, I want to talk to you guys because, like I said before, the Game Ninja has questions, but the Game Ninja also has little observations that he paid attention to. Oh, that's my screen. That's the Republic of Gamers, ROG, for life. Anyway, the telling part of this Nintendo Switch Direct wasn't in what they put out. It was the variety of which they put it out. The Japanimation, which, let's face it, Nintendo Switch right now is doing very well in Japan. Very, very well. It broke records in Japan, and that is amazing. So, of course, where the hardware and the software was birthed, they're going to want more of their representation on their game platform. And I'm all for it. I'm okay. Believe me, I'm all for it. I'm all right with it. Bring on the Japanimation. Hell, give me a Chobits game. I'd buy that day one. Take my money. For those of you who don't know what Chobits is, don't worry about it. You didn't miss. You did miss something. It's a great ass TV series. It's a great ass anime. You did miss it. Now, it's a little pervy, but which anime isn't? I mean, come on, even Dragon Ball had Goku with the little dangle dongle sticking out in the original Dragon Ball series when he meant not Bulma. Who was it? What's her name? Yeah, Bulma. Was it Bulma? It was Bulma that he meant. Because he didn't mean Chi-Chi until later on. Yeah, it was Bulma with his little dangle when she was watching him because he didn't know girls and boys had different parts. Like I said, there's perviness in pretty much all manga, definitely in hentai, and Japanimation and anime. So just get used to it because it's like real life movies, just animated versions of them. But I wouldn't hate a Chobits game. I really wouldn't. I wouldn't hate a Sailor Moon game. A next-gen Sailor Moon game? Come on, why isn't that a thing already? Anyways, the variety of games they put out, and the first big third party that you really did see here too, you saw Capcom. Capcom represented a lot on this platform today, and you also saw Bethesda. Now, Bethesda can do so much on the Switch because picture playing Fallout handheld. And like I said, there's so much to some of these games being multiplayer and played in a room with 5 or 6 people or 2 or 3 people, and then you have the solitary aspect of it. That's why I like the Switch. It's very versatile. By yourself, with people, you got the camera options, you got the voice chat native options. You even have some people who can control your camera in one of the games they came out with today, which I don't quite know. See, any game where I'm hiding from Dino, I think it's Dino something. Anything where I'm hiding from creatures and I don't have the ability to defend myself, I just hide and I have to rely on hiding, I'm not gonna last long. Alien Isolation didn't last long. That new Alien game was Resurgence? Pause 1 second. Alien Rogue Incursion is the game, which I'm surprised that wasn't announced for the Switch either. But like I said, this opens up a door to a lot. So Capcom came to play. Now Capcom, if you weren't listening, Capcom wants to release their entire back catalog of Resident Evil games on the Switch. So I'm surprised we don't have a part 2 announced or a part 3 announced or a part 4 announced, Gold. Like, I know that's coming. For the simple fact that they released 8 and 7 along with 9, and they're all playable the same day. So somebody could play 7, 8, and 9, but they can't play 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. That's just ludicrous. So I know that's going to happen because Capcom is seeing how well it's doing, and they're going to be watching how well Requiem does on the Switch too. Which, if that was the gameplay that we saw today of the Switch version, that's phenomenal. That's phenomenal, especially for a next-gen brand new game, and for the first time it releases on Switch day 1. I love that. That means you're finally taking the Switch seriously. Back in the day when games came out, the Switch had to wait a year for a port, 6 months, 2 years, 3 years for a port of the same game that came out for Xbox and PlayStation. Now they stomping with the big dogs. They're like, day 1, we want to play 2. And I'm all for it. I love my Nintendo Switch. I love NS1 and NS2. I have both of them. I have NS2 right here behind me. You see that? That's the NS2 right there. Also have the NS1 right over there. So yeah, I got NS1 and NS2. So I'm good. By the way, I will be playing Dragon Quest 7 Reimagined. You saw me play the demo here on the channel. I will be busting that, and you will have gameplay of that tonight. Tonight, son. I'm a 4K capture card it. You're gonna see it. Now I know sometimes my NVIDIA capture card, I be using NVIDIA, it got stutters and stuff like that, which I don't like. They just update their software so much. Like every time I turn on my computer, it's like update, drivers. Like, come on, man. You don't need to update all of that much. Every time a new game comes out, they update their drivers. But anyway, you're gonna see that tonight on the channel as well. I saw a lot of promise in the Direct today. A lot of people didn't, but I saw a lot of promise in the Direct today. And I'm interested to see Xbox bringing more to the platform. I'm interested in seeing PlayStation bringing more to the platform. Now that the Nintendo Switch has proven itself of what it's capable of, we need to get the ability to keep it capable. And we need more 120 frame per second games. We need more 60 FPS games. We need that. We need more. We know what the Switch is capable of. I mean, hell, look at how it ran CG Projekt Red's Cyberpunk. When Cyberpunk came out, it wasn't even playable on the PlayStation or the Xbox. And it was so horribly released, they had to take it off the platform and off the eShops. Now it's back and it's better than ever with subsequent updates and patches and changes and fix. But if you had the foresight to release that same game on the Nintendo Switch 2, you were setting up for disaster. After all, Mortal Kombat 1 came out for the Nintendo Switch 1. It was a mess. Johnny Cage's eyes couldn't close. It was horrible lighting, horrible. Like, it was unplayable. But if you play that same game today on the Nintendo Switch 2, you'd be amazed at how well, how amazing it runs, and how it looks. The Nintendo Switch 2 is truth to the actual phrase, Nintendo. Now you're playing with power. So when you ask me my opinion on the Nintendo Direct that aired today, it showed promise, it showed expansion, and it showed that the Nintendo Switch is just beginning to stretch its feet. Now, what we need to see from game developers and big studios is, if you ever wanted more dollars to bring your games to another platform to make money, now is the time to do it on the Nintendo Switch 2. You could take your oldest game that was flying banging back in the day, you bring it to the Switch, you're gonna get some more money. The Switch is selling like hotcakes, son, and anything you put on it, it's gonna make you money. As long as you do it right, because Nintendo Switch has the ability. It has the performance capabilities. If you bring it, they will play it. And I said it, if you build it, they will come. If you bring it, people will spend guap. It'll happen. My word. So anyways, it showed promise. Now, I'm still waiting for a first-party Nintendo Switch Direct, which I hear there's rumors that it might be in February as well. If they did that, that would be phenomenal, because we need a game plan. We need a game plan for NSO. We need a game plan for Nintendo first-party games. We need DLC for Mario Kart World. I know you have it squirreled away in a ketchup packet, written on napkins, on an SD card or a flash drive in the back of the cabinet, in the booth in the back, in the dark, hidden by a lock, in a safe, and a guard dog in front of it, and a gigantic statue of Bowser that shoots bees out of his mouth and flames out of his eyes. I know you guys have it. Now, I understand you keeping it top secret, top flight security. I understand that. But you need to release it. Donkey Kong came out. It already has its DLC. Pokemon came out after Mario Kart World. It's already got its DLC. Look, I know you guys don't want to drop too early close to your cap. I don't know what you're holding back for, but I understand. There's probably a reason you're holding back. But most of your patrons already have unlocked everything in the game, and they're starving for more. It's time to wet their whistles. At least announce the DLC. And I guarantee you, people will flock to you in groves. But that's just one gamer's opinion. After all, I do all consoles, I do all game systems. But I'm gonna tell you one thing. I can rock on Mario Kart World just as easily as I can rock on Mario Kart 8. I could rock on my Wii U just as easily I could rock on my Switch 1 or my Switch 2 or my Game Boy or my Game Boy Advance or my DS or my 3DS or my 2DS. Like, if I mess with you, I mess with you. But on the same token, what's with all the foreplay? Let's get down to it. Let's get down to it. We know what you want. You want our money. We want games. It's a simple chemical equation. We give you money, you give us games. We happy. We don't have to break into stores and burn down villages with torches because life is so hard. It's very simple. You provide us with sustenance and the ability to escape, and we provide you with our dollars that we can't spend, don't want to spend, and don't have. They've proved it by your Switch sales. So we fucks with you. Now fucks with us back. No more foreplay. Let's just get right down to it. We know what we're here for. You know what we're here for. Give it to us. Ladies and jelly spoons, that's my take on a Nintendo Direct. I've seen better. I've seen a hell of a lot worse. I've been to some horrible state of plays. I've seen Jeff Keighley lie through his teeth. I've been through a lot. But I'm going to say, as a Direct that was just spot announced and dropped for a third party, it's one of the better third party Directs I've ever seen you drop. And there was a lot in there. I know it's not what people wanted and people were let down, myself included. But what it showed is promise. So, Nintendo, congratulations on breaking records on the Switch 1 and the Switch 2. You are officially on your way to greatness. You're already a legend. Just sit back and enjoy the ride. Remember, heroes get remembered, but legends never die. Ladies and jelly spoons, from the Game Dojo, it's your boy the Game Ninja, and that was my take on the Direct. Stay tuned to some actual gameplay later tonight. We out.